Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys in good condition and stay healthy and happy. To the good Mr. Susan, Febriantina, SPD, MPD, and all my friends. On this occasion, I would like to present material about cross-cultural communication. Okay, before we going to the material, introduce ourselves first. We are from Group 1 of D3 Office Administration, Faculty of Economic, Jakarta State University. Introducing, my name is Amelia Putri, and my friends Aufa Kini, and then Fatma Suci Ramadhani, and the last one is Hapita Palestiana. Okay, before we present our material, I will to give you a little bit or short video example about what is cross-cultural communication. Please watch the end and let's focus and enjoy.
Cross-cultural success story in the Philippines.
My name is Taro. I spent my entire life in Japan. I've only interacted with other Japanese. I don't have problems getting along and communicating with them. When our company expanded to other regions, I was sent to the Philippines to be the country manager. This is my first overseas assignment. I only know Japanese culture, but I'm excited to learn more about Filipinos and their culture. Everything in the Philippines is new to me. I already met many Filipinos. I heard about Halo Halo, the jeepney, Jose Rizal from them. They also like to talk about their family. I really found Filipinos very hospitable and cheerful. I like being around them even at times I don't fully understand them or I get lost in our conversations. Because everything is new to me, I was surprised in many instances, especially in my first few weeks in the Philippines. I met with some company executives. Many of them didn't give me their business cards or they don't carry one with them. I was really surprised. It's impossible in Japan to meet someone in a business meeting without exchanging business cards. I also experienced some problems with my staff. Filipinos are hard workers, but many of them are not punctual. They also become emotional when I reprimand them. I hear Filipinos also hop from one job to another every 2 to 3 years. Is this normal? I've been in the Philippines for 6 months now, but there are still situations I find myself confused, surprised, thinking, frustrated, unsure, and nervous. Is learning about a different culture that difficult?
No, Taro, it doesn't have to be difficult, but it can be when you cannot see things from their perspective. Cross-cultural communication can fill your head with different thoughts. We can help you make sense of these and transform them to more productive ones. Spiceworks can equip you and your team with cross-cultural tools to decipher and understand different contexts through a workshop specially designed for expats and companies with a multicultural environment. You will take away the ability to understand more closely the culture of your team and them understand yours. Build a shared context with them. Work-related communication can be smoother and break-time conversations can even become more enjoyable, creating a stronger and harmonious team. Our past clients are highly satisfied with our delivery of the workshop. We've maintained a high satisfaction rate of 94%. Give us a call or send us an email to know more about what we can do for you and your company. In a continually expanding world, be ready, be confident, and be successful.
Wow! After watching the video, it can be concluded that cross-cultural communication is very important in the business world. Okay, in order to understand more, then we will explain the material. Let's focus. Okay, first of all, I will describe what is communication. Communication is something that is very familiar in all of us. Every day, every time, everywhere, whenever we always communicate to each other or strangers or something like that. But do you know what communication is? The most definition of communication describes is as both conscious and unconscious process of sharing meaning by transmitting message. While the notion of culture, according to parallel culture, is to be human. Therefore, the people in the world belong to a culture. Okay, now you guys knowing about what is communication. Let's move on. I will to explain what is cross-cultural communication. Cross-cultural communication is the process recognizing both differences and similarities among cultural groups in order to effectively engage within a given context. In other words, cross-cultural communication refers to the way in which people from different cultural backgrounds adapt to improve communication with one another. In today's rapidly changing professional world, it's critical to gain an understanding of how cultural elements affect communication between individuals and groups in the workplace. Developing strong cross-cultural communication skills is the first step in creating a successful work environment that brings out the best in all organization team members. Okay, next material is why cross-cultural communication is very important in business world. To be successful in any industry, organization need to understand the communication patterns of employees, customers, investors, and other audience. Awareness and willingness to adopt allow the exchange of information regardless of cultural values, norms, and behaviors that may differ between audience. Okay, point number 2 is understand how to be patient with others. By acquiring cross-cultural communication skills, you'll be able to express yourself with confidence and understand how to be patient with other people who aren't from a similar background. It's also perfect great to meet fellow students from other cultures and discuss your difference. Next point is critical to preventing and resolving conflicts. Given the different backgrounds that come from each audience, it's important to understand how culture affect communication and how this can affect organization process. Patty Goodman, PhD, a faculty leader for cross-cultural communication in Northeastern, Master in Corporate and Organization Communication Program, says effective cross-cultural communication is critical to preventing and resolving conflict, building networks, and creating a satisfying work environment for anyone involved. And next point is to know the global market. There is no border for business now, and business is developing globally. To understanding the global customer, a business unit should have knowledge of demographic status, attitudes, values, and beliefs of different cultures. This understanding helps win global business. And next point is avoiding miscommunication and creating a work environment of equal opportunity. Avoiding miscommunication: when people from different cultural interact, then there is a chance of miscommunication due to a difference in language and attitude. A proper understanding of different cultures where the business has an interest can cause effective communication. And creating a work environment of equal opportunity. In a multinational organization, the success of a business depends on the collective effort of people from different cultures. Each employee needs to get equal treatment here, and therefore understanding of various cultures is a prerequisite for the employer. And the last point is enriching human research. If cultural barriers are removed, a business enterprise can hire skilled people from the different parts of the world. This will enrich the human research of the business. Here, the business will grow and develop rapidly.
Hello, I'm Ovakini. I'm going to tell you a little bit about principle of intercultural communication. The intercultural communication, there are actions that seek to maximize the results of the interaction. Three consequences get important implication for the intercultural communication. First, people will interact with other people and they expect will produce positive results. Second, if you get a positive results, the communicator will continue positive results. They involve to themselves and improve communication. If you get a negative results, then the perpetrator begins to withdraw and reduce communication. Third, the principal make the predictions about which behavior will lead to positive outcomes. Perpetrators will try to predict the outcome of, for example, topic choice, positive taken, nonverbal behavior exhibited, and so on. The communicator then does that with things and he will give positive results and tries not to do what the things will give negative results. The second of principle of intercultural communication is language as a mirror a culture. Language reflects culture. The greater the cultural difference, the greater the difference in communication both in language and nonverbal cues. And the third of principle is early interactions and difference between cultures. Intercultural differences are especially important in early interaction and gradual decrease in importance as relationships become more intimate. While there is always the possibility of misinterpretation and misjudgment of others. This possibility is especially great in situations of intercultural communication. 4. Self-awareness and intercultural difference. The greater the difference between cultures, the greater and participant mindfulness during communication. This has both positive and negative consequences. On the positive side, this self-awareness might make us more alert. It prevents us from saying things that might feel insensitive or inappropriate. On the negative side, it makes us overly cautious, unself-cautious, and underconfident. And the last, reducing uncertainty. The greater the difference between cultures, the greater the uncertainty and ambiguity in communication. Much of our communication seeks to reduce this uncertainty so that we can better describe, predict, and explain the behavior of others. So, what I just explained are the principles in intercultural communication. The principle can be done so that communication can run smoothly despite having many different cultures. And we can use this principle in our daily life. These principles are formed because of the factor and impact that occur during communication. And next, the barrier factor intercultural communication. We have 9 points of barriers. The first is physical, communication barriers that come from time, environment, personal needs, and media. The second is culture, communication barriers that come from ethnic, religions, and social difference from one culture to another culture. The third is perception, communication barriers that arise due to difference in perception held by individuals about something, and difference is perception because difference is interpreting to the something. Point 4 is motivation. Why motivation is barriers of communication? Because the motivation communication barriers relate to the level of motivation to the reshape of the message. The low level of motivation of the recipient of the message causes communication to be hampered. The reshape of the message. The low level of motivation of the recipient of the message causes communication to be hampered. Point 5 is experience. Communication barriers caused by past experience the individual has. Difference in the experience of each individual can cause difference in the concept and perception or something like that. Point 6 is emotion. Communication barriers relate to the emotion or personal feelings of the listener. If the listener emotions are bad, the communication barriers that occur will be even greater and difficult to pass. Point 7 is language. Communication barriers that occur when the sender and receiver use language or words that are not understood by the receiver of the message, causing inequal meaning. Point 8 is nonverbal. Barriers to communication in the form of sign or gesture. And the last is competition. Communication barriers that arise when the receiver of the message is doing other activity at the time of receiving the message. Various communication barriers that occur can also be overcome and required to be able to overcome and to improve exciting communication so as to create more effective communication. There are several ways that can be done. There is simple way, namely is maintaining a communication climate so that it's always open, and determined to uphold ethics in the communicating and run it well. Understand the difficulties on intercultural communication. Next point is using a communication approach that is centered on the receiver on the next message. Use exacting technology wisely and responsibility in order to obtain the shared information properly and effectively. And the next, create the process message effectively and efficiently. This can be done in several ways, namely understanding the shape of the message, adapting message in the receipt, reducing the number of the message, choosing the right channel or media, improving communication skills. More or less, that is paramount of cross-cultural communication when viewed from objectively and solution that we must do. Next.
Hello everyone. Here I will explain about a point of miscommunication in cross-cultural based on Larry Barna. According to the communication theory cross cultures given by Larry Barna, 6 sources might cause miscommunication. Hence, for improved cross-cultural communication, they should be avoided. Let us have a look upon those. Here are 6 examples, and the first one is assumption of similarities. This misconception lets one develop the understanding that how he or she behaves, thinks, or acts is also accepted and perceived around the world in the same manner. This way of thinking impedes us to understand others' context, and we may have negative views about those who differ from us. The second, language difference. Such misconceptions occur when people interacting with each other do not speak the same language. Even in some of the cases, words being spoken in the same language have a different meaning in another context that might cause a difference in understanding. The third, nonverbal misinterpretation. This form of misconception arises when the meaning of nonverbal signals different in the different culture. Body language, gestures, eye contact, posture, and play role this context. For instance, nodding the head is yes in some culture while no in some other culture. The fourth, preconception and stereotypes. Having some sort of prejudice, xenophobic tendencies, or stereotypes about language. etc. also cause difference is understanding. Some preconception about a few nonverbal signals may also cause issues. Assuming a fixed set of characteristics that you do not like from all members of a group cause such misconception and difference. The fourth, tendency to evaluate. Analyzing others' tendencies, communication, verbal or nonverbal ways of speaking may also be one of the key reasons behind misconception. And the last, high anxiety. Being highly anxious while interacting with people of a different culture may also create a confusing world around you that will cause misconception. When you delve into the word anxious through the process, it hampers your natural understanding. Your verbal as well as non-verbal signals will also not support you. Okay, the next slide, loss in cross-cultural communication. The first one, misunderstanding and then getting bad views. Loss in cross-cultural understanding or cross-cultural understanding. Cross-cultural understanding refers to the basic ability of people in the business to recognize, interpret, and react properly to events or situations that may lead to misunderstanding due to cultural difference. The primary concern of cross-cultural training is to equip learners with appropriate skills to achieve a cross-cultural understanding. And then once the foundation of cross-cultural understanding have been laid, learners through continuous practice or on-the-job experience can gradually achieve a more appreciation of cultural difference. The loss that occurs if we do not understand the culture between countries is that there can be misunderstandings that can lead to failure in establishing cooperation. The last slide, how to improve cross-cultural communication. There is no way overcome the problem of communication in a company other than to improve cross-cultural communication. As mentioned earlier, it has significant importance in every sector with a need for communication. No matter whether you are a part of the market of the mark makers, you need an established communication system. Many people are not sure about the ways to tackle this problem and end up destroying their professional relation. And here are 4 tips to help you improve cross-cultural communication in your organization. The first, embrace agility. Inability or unwillingness to adapt to change is a common barrier to cross-cultural communication. 2. Open-minded. Similarly, close-mindedness is another barrier to cross-cultural communication that can hinder the success of an organization. 3. Facilitate a meaningful conversation. Lack of communication within an organization can exacerbate cultural difference between individuals. Fourth, realize another important step to improving cross-cultural communication in the workplace is to become more cultural and self-aware. On a personal level, you should strive to acknowledge your own biases and implicit assumptions that influence the way you interact with others.
Hello everyone, I'm Hebita Valesiana. I will explain about benefits of studying cross-cultural communication in business. Communication is the main key in social life. Sometimes communication misunderstanding can cause discomfort with other person, as well as communication in business. In a business, communication is not only used to exchange information, but communication is needed to reach an agreement and goals. Every company has individuals who have different cultures, with in terms of status, social values, communication styles, and roles. Therefore, an entrepreneur or employee in a company must learn cross-cultural communication. The following are the benefits obtained from studying cross-cultural communication. The first is improving the cooperation in the company team. Learning the differences will create a sense of respect between fellow business people. By studying cross-cultural communication, it will minimize misunderstanding when working between teams. For example, when German people are doing business with Indonesian people, Indonesian people tend to come late in attending any meeting. If you don't understand cultural differences, Germany people will definitely feel angry. But when they learn about cultural differences, Germany people will try to understand if their Indonesian clients arrive late, it's because it has become a habit. And also Indonesian people will definitely try not to come too late to appreciate the cultural differences between countries. That way, teamwork will be formed and make it easier to reach an agreement. Not only that, understanding cross-cultural communication is also one solution to understanding its particular cultural character. This step is nothing but to create good cooperation within the team and the company. And the second is useful negotiation process. Business is always related to negotiation. In the business world, it's not only done domestically, but business can reach all corners of the world. By understanding cross-cultural communication, business can realize abroad. In the domestic aspect, this communication can be used as a negotiation process with other companies who wish to cooperate. While within countries, negotiation can be carried out. So a good process, harmony between one country and another can be maintained. Cross-cultural communication that exists within a country must be understood properly through communication. By understanding cross-cultural communication, the delivery of negotiation can be adapted to the circumstance. For example, from the way of speaking, expressing opinions, and even how to behave as individuals. Then number 3 is unifying the different cultures in every company. Intercultural communication has an important role in the business world to unite the differences in every company. Such communication can be useful as a personality in a company or business to cope with and deal with different cultures. This makes cross-cultural communication very important. Not only that, the different cultural backgrounds of employees or clients also influence why they should study intercultural communication. This is very important to increase cooperation within a person or company. If the communication is effective, then the chance of mutual success can be achieved easily. By studying cross-cultural communication, we can unite differences into togetherness. The fourth benefit of studying cross-cultural communication is assist in the decision-making process. When you want to make a decision, someone who has the authority to lead must of course make decisions in accordance with common good. For that, a leader must know and learn the culture that exists within the company. In decision-making, communication is not only understanding about culture such as race and religion, but also in social value to facilitate decision-making. And for the last, or number 5, the benefits of studying cross-cultural communication in business are preventing individual views about ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is an assessment of other cultures on the basis of social values and own cultural standards, or can be called the view from one individual to another. This perspective is an attitude that assumes that one's culture is better than others. People who have this assumption usually do not have mutual respect or tolerance among others. Therefore, studying cross-cultural communication, especially in the field of business, has good benefit for us. In addition to building character as individuals who can to respect differences, Studying cross-cultural communication also strengthens business relationship in achieving goals. Next, I will give some example of the differences in cross-border communication in business. The first country is China. In the business world, we are all familiar with China. China adheres to two philosophies in business trade with the meaning of harmonization and relationship. Businessmen from this country strictly adhere to the application of the two philosophies because they believe a business cooperation will run smoothly when we build relationship in harmony and good communication. China's society highly values collectivism. Collectivism is important to build network with benefits in negotiations. This is one of the China's culture in building a business. Other than that, when visiting, it would be nice to give a gift to the host, but never bring a clock as a gift to the Chinese people, because it is considered a symbol of death. And then the example number 2 is Japan. The Japanese place a high importance on group loyalty and consensus, a concept called wa. Almost all corporate activity in Japan encourages wa among managers and employees. Wa want the whole group to agree and cooperate. Most Japanese managers are quiet, calm, distant, introspective, and other-oriented. Japanese people prefer to conduct business on a personal relationship basis rather than not personal speaking on the phone or in written correspondence. To that end, build and maintain a relationship by sending greetings card, thank you card, birthday and seasonal greeting cards. And also in Japan, a person's age and status are of utmost importance, whether in a family unit, an extended family, or social or business situation. For example, older people are served first and drinks are poured for them first. While handshake, foreigners may handshake, but the traditional form of greeting is bowing. The deeper you bow, the more respect you show. And then in Japan, never do a handshake with eye contact. It's considered impolite for Japanese society. In addition, bringing gift when visiting is an honor for Japanese people. Chocolate or small cakes are a good choice, but don't give lilies, camellias, lotus petals, white flowers, as they are all associated with funerals. And then Mexico. Mexico is authoritarian society in terms of school, churches, business, and families. Employers there are looking for workers who are friendly, respectful, and obedient, innovative, creative, and independent. Mexican workers tend to be activity-oriented rather than problem-solving. When a foreigner comes and enters business in Mexico, he or she will be impressed by the warm and friendly atmosphere. In Mexico, it's very guarded that the name of harmony and good relation between every line that exists. Mexican employers are paternalistic, providing more than just salaries and wage to their employees, but in return, they expect loyalty. Meetings and banquets for business in Mexico associate are rarely held at home, but mostly in restaurants to maintain honor, save face, and be considered important. That's why Mexicans don't accept criticism and change easily. Many feel humiliated when they are perceived as guilty. When greeting, it's usually for women by patting the arm or back, and for men by handshaking. If visiting your home, bring gifts such as a flower or candy. Avoid plants with golden yellow flowers because they are a symbol of death, and avoid flowers with red colors because they have a negative connotation. And for the last is Brazil. In Brazil, men greet each other by handshaking while maintaining eye contact. And then women greet each other with a kiss in Brazil, starting from the left cheek to the right cheek. Hugs and pats on the back are common greetings among Brazilians who are close friends. And if a woman wishes to handshake a man's hands, it's best to reach out first. And then if you come to a Brazilian house, bring flowers or a small gift. But avoid bringing purple or black flowers, as these are the colors of mourning. And then try to arrive at least 30 minutes late if the invitation is for dinner, and arrive at least an hour late for a party or large gathering. Avoid embarrassing the Brazilian by criticizing the person in public. It causes him to lose face with everyone at the business meeting, and the person making the criticism also loses face because they feel they are not following the unwritten rules of Brazilians. As for business deal, insist on drawing up detailed legal contract. They are more comfortable doing business with him and negotiating with people rather than companies. There are still many differences that exist from various countries, such as do not serve beef to Indians, do not serve pork to guests who come from Eastern countries such as United Arab, and then Western people prefer to be called by their last name, etc. In conclusion, the best way to conduct business internationally is by researching manners and customs. Only this way can you ensure that won't make a terrible social blunder.
We got history, got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me. Thinking about what could have happened or what could have been. Finally your face, I know ain't that a sight to see. Take my time, then take your clothes off one more time maybe. Acting like you don't recall it, ain't impressing me. Didn't come to see your friends, I know you came for me. Like your dress, but you fit better in my wrinkled tee. We moved on to newer things, but we got history. Put my feelings all aside, don't know what to make it right. Pictures popping on my mind, all these occasions, just work it out with me. I don't think it hurts to give another try.